Hey there, friend. Have you ever stopped to think about the messages the universe sends us every day? You know, that feeling of déjà vu or that unexplainable connection with someone you've just met? What if these experiences were clues to our other existences, whispers from our spirit trying to remind us of something greater? Today, we're going to embark on a journey together to unravel these spiritual messages and connect with our other lives. Are you ready to explore this fascinating world full of mysteries? Before we dive deep into this topic, I want to invite you to be part of this community. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let us know in the comments what your expectations are for this video. Let's build this space together. Folks, let's talk about something that really moves me: the nature of our soul, and this incredible idea that we live multiple existences. Have you ever stopped to think about it? According to Spiritism, we're not just this physical body we see in the mirror, but immortal spirits on a continuous journey of learning and evolution. Each life we live is like a new chapter in a book we've been writing for centuries. Have you ever had that feeling of mastering something without even having studied it much? Like picking up a musical instrument for the first time and playing a melody, or learning a new language with surprising ease. Well, these skills might be reflections of experiences we've accumulated in past lives. It's as if we carry within us an invisible baggage, full of knowledge and experiences that accompany us throughout our incarnations. Just imagine our soul as a traveler who, at each stop, collects new experiences, overcomes challenges, and grows morally. Each existence is a unique opportunity to learn something new, to correct past mistakes, and to get closer and closer to spiritual perfection. And the most interesting thing is that nothing happens by chance. That difficulty we face today might be a valuable lesson we need to assimilate to evolve. And you know that feeling of déjà vu, when it seems like we've lived a certain situation before, or when we visit a place for the first time and feel an inexplicable connection. It could be our spirit giving us clues about experiences from other lives. I, for example, have always had a huge fascination with certain ancient cultures, even without having studied them in depth. Could it be a distant memory of a past life? Let's do an exercise together. Stop for a moment and reflect. What talents or interests do you have that seem innate, as if they've been part of you forever? Maybe they're clues to your previous experiences, showing that we're much more complex and profound than we imagine. And when we think of life as a big school, everything starts to make more sense, doesn't it? Each incarnation would be like a school year, full of learning, challenges, and achievements. Some years are more relaxed, others more demanding, but all are essential for our growth. And so, we keep advancing, growing, and becoming better versions of ourselves. Have you noticed this too? How certain situations seem to repeat themselves until we really learn the lesson. Maybe it's the universe, or better yet, our own spirit, giving us that little push to evolve. Now, let's chat about those subtle signs that life sends us, which we often don't even notice. You know, when you think of someone and out of the blue that person calls or messages you, or when you dream of a place you've never visited and suddenly see a photo or article about it. It might seem like a coincidence, but what if it's our spirit trying to communicate with us? Spiritist doctrine teaches us that, although we don't have conscious memories of our past lives, they leave deep marks in our subconscious. These marks can emerge through intuitions, vivid dreams, or feelings we can't explain. It's as if our soul is sending us encrypted messages, waiting for us to be attentive enough to decipher them. Have you ever had the feeling of being in the right place at the right time, doing exactly what you should be doing, or feeling a different energy in certain environments or around certain people? Maybe it's your sensitivity picking up vibrations that are beyond the material world. It's as if we're antennas, tuning into frequencies that aren't always perceived by our physical senses. And what about those situations that seem to repeat in our lives, like always attracting the same type of relationship or facing similar challenges in different contexts? It could be a sign that there's an important lesson there, something we need to learn or resolve. Perhaps instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me again?" we should start thinking, "What do I need to learn from this?" Let's reflect on this together. How can we become more receptive to the signs our spirit sends us? Maybe by practicing mindfulness, meditating, or simply setting aside moments of silence to listen to our inner voice. Sometimes, in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we forget to connect with ourselves, don't we? And look, we're not alone on this journey. All of us at some point feel this need to understand more about who we are and what our purpose is. Share in the comments if you've ever had an experience you consider a spiritual sign. Who knows, your story might inspire others too. Now let's talk about something that often seems like a mystery. How can we consciously connect with our other existences? I know it might sound a bit abstract, but let's demystify this together. Have you ever been curious to understand where certain sensations or inclinations come from that seem to have no explanation in this life? Well, there are some practices that can help us access these spiritual memories and bring more clarity to our current journey. One of the most powerful tools is meditation. And I'm not talking about something complex or inaccessible, but simple moments of silence and introspection. When we manage to quiet our mind and turn inward, we open space for deep insights to emerge. Have you ever tried sitting in silence, paying attention only to your breathing, and suddenly feeling a peace or understanding that you don't quite know where it came from? It could be your spirit communicating with you. Another interesting practice is intuitive writing. Grab a notebook, find a quiet place and start writing everything that comes to mind, without judging or censoring. Often, by putting our deepest thoughts and feelings on paper, we end up revealing things that were hidden in our subconscious. Who knows, you might discover patterns or stories that seem to come from long ago. There's also memory regression, which is a technique that allows access to memories of past lives. But here's an important warning. If you're interested in trying this, always seek out a serious and qualified professional. The idea isn't to create fantasies or feed illusions, but to seek self-knowledge and healing. Sometimes understanding the root of a fear or blockage we have can free us and transform our current life. For example, I knew someone who had an intense fear of heights, to the point where it severely limited their daily life. In a therapeutic session, they discovered that in a past life, they had suffered a fatal fall. By becoming aware of this, they were able to work through this trauma and overcome the fear. Amazing, isn't it? But look, we don't necessarily need to resort to advanced techniques to connect with our deeper self. Simple acts, like spending time in nature, listening to soul-touching music, or even observing our dreams, can be gateways to these other dimensions of our existence. Have you ever had a dream so vivid it seemed real? Or woken up feeling like you've received an important message? Pay attention to these details, as they can be valuable. And remember, the goal isn't to get stuck in the past, but to use this knowledge to live better in the present. It's like understanding where we came from to know where we're going. And on this journey, each discovery can be one more piece in the puzzle of our existence. Have you tried any of these practices? What was the experience like? Share in the comments, we'd love to know. Now let's dive into a topic that's fundamental in Spiritist doctrine and, honestly, in all our lives: free will and karma. Have you ever stopped to think about how your choices shape your reality? And more, how they can reverberate not only in this life but also in future existences? Let's explore this together. Free will is this marvelous capacity we have to make decisions on our own. We're not puppets of destiny. We have the power to choose our paths, actions, and reactions. But of course, with this power comes responsibility. Each choice brings consequences, and that's where the law of cause and effect, or karma as it's commonly called, comes into play. Think about it. If you plant an apple seed, you'll harvest apples, right? Similarly, if we sow positive actions, we'll reap positive results. And the opposite is also true. It's not a matter of punishment or reward, but simply a natural law of the universe. What we put out comes back to us, in some form. But the most interesting thing is that this isn't limited to just this life. According to Spiritism, the consequences of our actions can extend to other existences. It's like a spiritual current account that accumulates debits and credits over time. But before this seems scary, know that we always have the opportunity to balance this scale through conscious choices and positive actions. Have you ever felt that certain situations in your life seem to test you repeatedly, as if the universe were asking, "So, how are you going to react this time?" It might be a chance to do things differently, to break negative patterns and create a new path. Free will gives us the freedom to change at any moment. And you know what's most comforting? We're not alone on this journey. We have the support of spiritual mentors, friends and family who help us, even if sometimes in subtle ways. It's like having a team cheering for us behind the scenes. But the final decision, the action, is up to us. Have you ever thought about how your daily choices affect not just your life, but also the energy around you? A kind gesture can change someone's day. A friendly word can heal a pain. And at the same time, a thoughtless attitude can cause damage we can't even imagine. That's why it's so important to be aware of the impact we have on the world. Let's do a little exercise. Reflect on a recent decision you made. It can be something simple like helping someone or maybe avoiding an unnecessary argument. How did you feel after this choice? Did you notice any change in the energy around you? These small attitudes are powerful and can contribute greatly to our spiritual growth. And remember, karma isn't an immutable sentence. It's an opportunity for learning and evolution. If we've made mistakes at some point, we can always correct course and do better. Life is in constant motion and so are we. So how about we start paying more attention to our choices? Let's sow good actions together and reap wonderful fruits in the future. After all, as a wise person said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And you, what are you creating today for your tomorrow? Hey folks, let's chat about how our day-to-day experiences are real opportunities for spiritual growth. Sometimes we're waiting for big events or spectacular signs to notice the universe at work in our lives, but in reality, it's the little things that teach us the most. Have you noticed this too? Think about it. That casual chat with a stranger in the grocery store line that ends up giving you an insight into something you've been pondering for days. Or a problem at work that, while it seems like an obstacle, forces you to develop new skills and step out of your comfort zone. It's in these everyday situations that the universe whispers in our ears, guiding us and offering valuable lessons. Have you ever thought about how each person who crosses our path could be a teacher in disguise? Sometimes, someone who challenges or even annoys us is actually teaching us about patience, tolerance, and compassion. I know it's not always easy to see it that way, but when we change our perspective, everything takes on a new meaning. And you know those situations that keep repeating in our lives? Like a movie playing on loop? Maybe it's a sign that we need to learn something there. For example, if we constantly find ourselves in complicated relationships, it might be life inviting us to look within and understand what we need to heal in ourselves. Let's reflect together. How have you been reacting to the challenges that pop up in your daily life? Have you been facing them as problems or as opportunities for growth? I know it's tough, but how about starting to see each obstacle as a chance to evolve? And don't forget about the small joys. Her shared smile, an act of kindness, a moment of gratitude. These positive experiences are also extremely important for our spiritual development. They raise our vibration and connect us with the best in ourselves and others. Have you ever tried keeping a gratitude journal? Noting down things you're grateful for every day can transform your worldview. It might seem simple, but this practice has enormous power to connect us with the abundance and beauty of life. What about you? What everyday experiences teach you the most? Share with us in the comments. Who knows, your story might inspire others to notice the magic hidden in the little things. Now let's talk about something that's at the heart of Spiritist doctrine and, in my opinion, is fundamental for all of us. Charity and love for others. Seriously, folks, have you ever stopped to think about how a simple act of kindness can profoundly impact someone's life? Spiritism teaches us that charity isn't just about giving something material, but also offering our time, attention, and compassion. It's reaching out to those in need without expecting anything in return. And honestly, there's no better feeling than knowing we've made a difference in someone's life, no matter how small the gesture. Have you ever had the experience of helping someone and feeling like you gained more from it than they did? It's as if by offering love, we receive love multiplied. That's because we're all connected, and by lifting others, we lift ourselves. And it doesn't have to be anything grandiose. Small actions in our daily lives already make a huge difference. A sincere greeting, a word of encouragement, offering help with a simple task. All of this spreads positive energy that propagates and returns to us in unexpected ways. Moreover, Practicing charity helps us develop essential virtues for our spiritual evolution, like empathy, patience, and humility. By putting ourselves in someone else's shoes, we broaden our understanding of the world and break down barriers that separate us. Have you thought about how different the world would be if each of us practiced one act of kindness a day? It might seem utopian, but I believe that small actions added together have the power to transform realities. And you can be the start of this chain. Let's make a deal. How about today you perform an altruistic action? It can be anything that comes from the heart. Then come back here and tell us about your experience. I'm sure it will inspire many others. And remember, love is the most powerful force there is. When we act with love, we align ourselves with the highest energy in the universe. And this not only does us good, but also illuminates the path of those who cross our journey. So shall we sow love and compassion wherever we go. The world needs it, and each of us can make a difference. So folks, we've come to the end of our chat today. But before we say goodbye, I want to share one last reflection with you. We've talked about so many important things: the nature of the soul, multiple existences, the signs we receive daily, the power of our choices, and the importance of living in the present with awareness and love. And you know what's most amazing? All of this is interconnected, forming a web that makes up who we are and who we can become. Have you ever stopped to think about how powerful it is that we're co-creators of our reality? That every day we have the opportunity to write a new chapter in our spiritual story. Isn't that liberating? Knowing that regardless of what's past, we can choose to walk a path of light, learning, and evolution. And look, I know it's not always easy. Life presents us with challenges, moments of doubt and uncertainty. But remember, we're not alone. We have each other, and a greater force that guides and supports us. When we connect with our essence and the universe around us, we find the strength and inspiration needed to move forward. I want to encourage you to take these reflections further. How about, in the coming days, paying more attention to the signs life sends you? Set aside some time to connect with yourself, whether through meditation, writing, or simply contemplating nature. And of course, practice kindness and love for others whenever possible. So, are you up for this challenge? I'm sure that small changes can bring great transformations to your life and to the people around you. Let's build a more conscious, loving, and connected world together. Before wrapping up, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking with me until now. Your presence is very important and makes all the difference. If this video resonated with you in any way, don't forget to leave your like. It really helps to get this message out to more people. And please share your thoughts, experiences, or questions in the comments. I love reading what you write, and this exchange is extremely valuable. Who knows, your story might inspire someone who's reading. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There's a lot of great content coming up, and I'd love to have you on this journey with me. Share this video with friends and family who might benefit from this message. Let's spread light and knowledge together. Once again, thank you for your company. See you in the next video. Until then, take care and remember, you're a unique being with a special mission in this world. Don't stop shining your light.